Hey everybody, Dave Penyuk of Revenue.com coming at you with another quick investing video tip. And one of the tips I want to talk about today is rent-to-owns, and in particular rent-to-owns where you do property first versus tenant first. So I'll just quickly go over what that means and then the type that we prefer the most to do in our investment business. So property first is where you buy the property. You find a great property, you buy it, and then you go out and you market to find a tenant buyer to qualify them, and then they do the rent-to-own from you on that property. With tenant first, what you do is you find a tenant, you market, you find somebody that wants to do a rent-to-own. They can't qualify to buy their own home today, but they want to get into being a homeowner, setting them up to be able to buy that home. So you qualify them first, and then generally speaking, they pick the property that they want to do the rent-to-own from you. So the key difference and why we prefer the property first approach is because we're in control of the whole process. We're in control of the property that we're buying on behalf of a prospective tenant buyer. And the reason we really like that is because it helps to increase our exit strategies. It allows us to pick a property that's in a good area that we can do, potentially we could do a buy and hold on if we can't find a tenant buyer to do a rent-to-own on. It allows us to potentially buy a property below market value, get in some really strong negotiations with the seller, and we might be able to do some work to the property and flip it, or we might just be able to turn around and sell it down the road. But it allows us to increase those exit strategies. Tenant first, you don't really have many exit strategies apart from the tenant buying it from you through the rent-to-own program. And while that's the ultimate success of a rent-to-own, you want the tenant to buy the property from you in 1, 2, or 3 years. It doesn't always work that way, unfortunately. Life gets in the way. Sometimes they're not able to buy. So when they go out and they basically pick the house they want to do, what happens if they buy a house that's $500,000 house in a neighborhood where there's only $400,000 homes? Well, if they can't buy that $500,000 home from you, what's the likelihood you're going to all of a sudden be able to turn around and do a regular buy and hold on it to carry it through maybe if the market gets weak or something? Or what's the likelihood you're going to find another prospective tenant buyer that can afford a $500,000 home? Your chances get very, very small of being successful on that property. So we love doing property first for that very reason, because we invest in real estate, we invest in properties, we want to control as much of the process as possible, and that's why we do property first. But they're both great approaches. That's our preference, and that's our tip for today.